What's up everyone, my name is Ron from Comics and Stuff, and for this episode we are going over the Marvel Legends series, Marvel's Cable, and this iteration of Cable is an iteration that I've been waiting for. I mean, we recently saw it in X-Men 97 and it touches all the nostalgic vibes with its appearance that it had in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So I'm super excited to do pictures with, Ryu and all of that. But before I could do that, let's head into the package. Guys, it's the standard Marvel Legends series box, which is a clear plastic window showing off the figure, accessories, and everything like that. Marvel's Cable, Hasbro logo down there, Marvel Legends series right there. At the top, you do see the build-up figure, which is Zabu. Warning also, when we go to the side, some nice artwork of Cable with his eye flashing and everything. Other side, same nice artwork. To the bottom, barcode, legalities, and everything. And when we head to the back, there is warnings, Hasbro logo, Marvel logo, as well as the lineup of the wave, including the build-up figure, Zabu right there. Now, heading to the top part, there is a nice little profile of Cable showing the same artwork that we just saw in the sides, and a nice little synopsis up there. But now that we went through the package and everything, let's open it up and check out the figure. And here's the Cable action figure outside of his package with his accessories right there by his side, and he looks good. He looks very good. Now, there is problems that I don't like, and we're gonna delve into that, but first, let's measure him in. He stands at about 7 inches, just the tiniest of tads underneath it, and that makes him a big boy, a very big boy. In fact, I like that scaling for Cable because I always imagine him a bit on the buffer side than your regular superheroes. Now, when it comes to his accessories, he does have this Zabu piece, which I don't consider an accessory, so we're not even gonna delve into it, but be aware it is one of the back legs. Now for him, what's meant for him? Of course, trigger finger hands is something Cable is meant to come with. So they do include that, and thankfully they are vertical hinge, guys. Mines are a bit stuck, I'll probably heat them up later, but be aware they are vertical hinge. Now, the weapons that these hands are meant to hold are these. Now, they come in like this basic gray plastic with a bit of black paint on them. So, there's this one right here. It looks okay. And there's this one. I want to point something out about this, guys. I was scrolling through Reddit, looking through people's pics with Cable, and somebody posted that this is actually a Nerf gun. They showed the picture alongside with it, and yeah, this is a Nerf gun. I don't know what kind of, marketing, subliminal stuff Hasbro is running, but this is pretty much a Nerf gun. So it's Nerf or nothing. I do wish they would have chosen a bigger gun, but I still think it looks like a weapon that, Cable would have. So that's cool. Now, when it comes to Cable, though, like I said, he's a big boy. And his stature pretty much shows that. I do like how that looks a lot. Yeah, I like how it looks a lot. However, I do have small gripes. First of all, he is pinless, but one of the joints, basically the arm that is not robotic or anything, is pinned. It's not a big gripe, and to tell you the truth, guys, I don't really mind it, but it is there. Another gripe that I got is that these, the pouches for the legs are floaty pieces. I mean, I hate the floaty pieces. I hated them on the old Cyclops and everything. You could hide it, the die cut that's there, but yeah, I just don't like floaty pieces. So that's another gripe. I'm gonna go through all my gripes, guys. My last gripe is, okay, I get it, it's a plain costume, but there is basically no paint on it except for the X's. Everything is just plastic. This is yellow plastic, this is blue plastic, yellow plastic, blue plastic. there's nothing, other than the X's that is painted. So it makes it a little look on the cheap side, a little bit. I would have liked to have at least some paint on the buttons. That would have helped break stuff up nicely. Another gripe is this yellow. This yellow, yeah, it doesn't really hide the blue well at all. The blue is poking through, and that just looks pretty dang bad. I just wish they would have just made that whole part a yellow plastic in order to match it better, and you wouldn't have that blue, popping through like that as a problem. Now that I went through my gripes though, I'm gonna go through what I like. Now, there is nice sculpt all throughout the character. Those floaty pieces are sculpted, so whatever, they're there. The X's are painted nicely. And, his arms, check them out, guys. They got veins and everything buffed, like how, Cable is supposed to be. And another part of Cable, of course, is this robotic arm, and I do like it. They got those lines breaking it up. It is like a gunmetal gray, and it suits him good. It got a bit of a shine, so it's not paint. At least I don't think it is. It just looks good. Yeah, it looks good. There is floaty pieces right here also on his wrist. The star of the show, though, I'm going to zoom in, guys, because this looks really good. That screams Cable. That 5 o'clock shadow looks awesome. The wrinkles, the scars on his eye right there. And speaking of his eye, you do see a hint of an iris right there. But it's not colored, making it look more, like how it is in the comics. And for the other eye, the one that's flashing and everything, I do like that it's not over exaggerated. And there is just like a bit of darkness in there to help it make look like there's an actual eye inside. So that looks rather nicely. That frown on his lips looks good. The hair, I think, is sculpted well. There is no shading. At least I don't think there is. There's no, no wash or anything. My eyes could be playing tricks on me, but it does look like it's just basic sculpt. And these little bangs in front of his head right there, that looks good. Yeah, I know it's it's a plain costume and everything. I just would have wanted some of that little detail in order to help break it up. But the X's still are painted nicely, I guess. And one thing that I do like about how they did this costume is that these straps are actually, glued on him itself. So, yeah, you're not gonna have that dancing around or anything like that. And it does help with the articulation. These parts being broken up like that, it doesn't help break it up. So you could, we're gonna get into articulation, guys, but I just wanted to point that out about his straps. Looks rather cool, and I think it's a cool thing that they did right there. Anyway, his head does come in a bowl and a hinge, making him look up pretty dang good. Down pretty dang good. You do get tiny bit of tilt, and you're gonna get rotation. For his shoulder, it's a big ball, guys, that goes really in there in the torso. So, although it does do, a T-pose and all of that, it looks kind of funny with that bump right there. So, I don't know how I feel about it. There is no butterfly joints or anything like that. It is well hidden thanks to the straps, but again, I do not know how I feel about that. However, it does do a 360 and that works just fine. There is a bicep cut that works just fine. Double jointed, pinless, robotic arm that gets you okay range. Hold up, I think I could do a little bit more. No, that's pretty much all the range you get. So that's okay, I guess. One thing I also wanted to say, guys, is that his forearm right there does look a bit on the weak side when compared to that bicep. Like, Yeah, I understand it needed to be like that in order to afford that range, but still looks a little funny. Anyway, the wrist does swivel and hinge just fine. And the ab crunch, again, I liked what they did there because look at that. Doesn't really break it up, goes with the straps, and there's not much gappage back there. Forward leans you a bit, back leans you a bit as well, and no gappage. Now there is a waist cut that's hidden underneath that belt. So I like how they did that. That looks rather good. Legs. Yeah, you're not getting much splits at all with him. However, he does kick pretty much straight. Back just a tad, and like I said, these floaty pieces hide the thigh cut. So that works just fine. Double jointed pinless knees. That gets you pretty good range. I don't mind that at all. There is a boot cut. And again, the mismatch of colors. But yeah, the boot cut's there. Ankles go forward like this. Back like that. And you do get pivot. Like I said, guys, there's stuff to like about this Cable figure. However, there is stuff that I don't like. You know, I wish there would have been a little bit more paint applications and all of that. But now that we went through it and everything, let's see how he holds up with other Marvel Legends. And our first comparison will be with his biological parents. Right there on the left, we got Cyclops from the X-Men 90s animated series VHS box set. And over here, we got his mother, Madeline Pryor, aka the Goblin Queen, from the X-Men 97 Wave 2 set of figures that just came out. And, you know, spoiler alert, guys, he rocks this outfit towards the end of X-Men 97. I mean, it's not really a spoiler. It is in the trailers and all of that. So, it looks good. Granted, these guys have, a more cartoon feel to it, but I still think it works good. And their height comparisons and everything, I got no problem with. In fact, I think it scales beautifully. And over here, we got him next to his frenemy Deadpool. Right there to the left is Boxer Deadpool from the Sauron Build-A-Figure wave. And over here to the right is the Deadpool from the Deadpool and Negasonic Teenage Warhead 2-pack. And this one is a more movie, it got a movie look to it. So it doesn't necessarily work. I do like the heights, but yeah, it doesn't look good together. This one, I do like the height and all of that. And since it's more comic book inspired, it does work. And of course, we gotta put him next to some enemies. Right there on the left is the creator of Madeline Pryor, aka Cable's mommy, Mr. Sinister from the X-Men 90s animated series VHS box set. And we got to the right the tormentor of the future, his future, the retro-carded Apocalypse. Now, I love how this scales. I love how this scales a lot. And it does look good, There is a bit cartoony, both of them, but it could still be fudge, guys. I wish I had a Strife in order to give you another, main bad guy for Cable, but unfortunately, I don't. Let's head into the next comparison. Now, this is my first Cable, guys, so I don't got the previous Cable in order to do a proper comparison with Cable, But I do got two figures that got that eye flash thing. Now, right there to the left is Longshot from the retro cards. And right there is X-Man, which is the alternate version of Cable from the Age of Apocalypse reality from the Sugar Man wave. So I guess I do kind of got a Cable. Kind of, but not really. Anyway, I wanted to do comparisons with the eye thing, the eye flash and all of that. And yeah, I do like this one, but I don't mind the Longshot one too much, This one is just horrible. It's just too big. However, I do like the gradients. Yeah, so if I had to choose in order, this would be number 1, this would be number 2, this would be number 3. Let me know down in the comments what order you would give yours. And finally, I wanted to put him side by side with some figures that made appearances in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Right there to the left is the Captain America from the Marvel Legends 20th anniversary. And right there to the right is Ryu from Jada Toys. Now, I don't mind the overall look. Like, I like how Captain America looks with him. I like how even Ryu looks with him. But what I don't like is the height. I mean, Ryu looks completely puny when compared to Cable. Captain America, I don't mind it. I mean, I feel that scales well. But keep that in mind, guys, if you guys are doing a Marvel vs. Capcom display and all of that you might have to do some clever posing when it comes to Ryu and Cable. So in conclusion, this is my first Marvel Legends Cable figure, guys, and thankfully, I am not disappointed with it. I mean, there's a lot to like, particularly that head sculpt. It screams Cable, and the whole 5 o'clock shadow thing, I like it. I also like that they seem to be getting better and better with the eye flash thing, at least when compared to other iterations. Also, the whole engineering when it involves the straps, that was pretty brilliant. So kudos to you, Hasbro. Now, although I like a lot of stuff about the figure, that doesn't mean that there's not stuff that I dislike. Especially when it came to the whole cast situation, you know, the mismatch of the yellows. I mean, just make it a yellow plastic and it would have solved that problem. Also, I know it's a plain costume, but a little paint, you know, a little dry brush, a little wash, something to help bring out the details would have gone a long way. That being said, I still thoroughly enjoy it and I love it. I mean, it's gonna be my main Cable figure. If you guys are interested in it, I will leave a link down in the descriptions. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like, comment, and subscribe because all of that stuff helps out the channel. My name is Ron from Comics and Stuff, and I'll check you guys on the next episode. Peace.